Welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. Today I've got my dear friends, Darcy and Mercedes Sparks is joining us. I want to begin with this statement again by Maha, Make America Healthy Again. Our man on the Hill, Robert Kennedy Jr. He said this, the opening salvo, 20 years on his knees, he prayed for an opportunity for God to let him do something. And look where he starts. The FDA's war on public health is about to end. This is all a mystery to me. I want to talk to you about this, Doc. I never thought about this as how insidious this whole apparatus is. It's a war. He's calling it a war on health. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics. That'll make Joe Rogan happy. Peptides. I don't even know what that is. Stem cells. I've learned. Raw milk. Didn't know they were against that. Hyperbaric therapies. That's new for me. Chelating compounds, familiar with that. Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, bam, bam. All right, shooting that whole, COVID crisis right in the face there. Mm-hmm. Vitamins, clean foods, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented. Can't be patented by far. You hear what he's saying? Absolutely. He's saying that this machine is waging war on people. If you can't patent it and control it and profit from it, then it is. I have two messages for you. Preserve your records and pack your bags. Do you think he's going to be able to make a dent in that machine?
I absolutely do, because I think his approach is noble. Because he looks at it and he's fighting for our right to be and stay well. And that's what happened is the machine shifted from medicine, where I think it was a good start, because medicine was designed to slow down the decline. When it became something of a money machine, that's where it became difficult. So I think he can make that dent, because what did he say? He said, I want to help you to have your children be healthy. Make America healthy again. It's not a political thing. It's a generational thing. And I think with that, the heart of America wants to be well.
I love it. And Doc, you got to show the shirt. By coincidence, he did an amazing outfit change earlier.
I was going to change.
And I was like, wait.
You guys made him change his outfit when he came to the studio?
Look at this.
Oh.
Make America healthy again.
Oh, you were wearing it. I didn't know that.
He's wearing
it
underneath it all.
Underneath it all. I travel the country, and underneath it all, make America healthy again. I think it's a great platform. I think it's great that we want to have our food be healthy, and we want to have healthy choices, because in the end, Lance, it's up to us. We control our body.
Well, thank God for the moms. Do you think it's more women that were behind Kennedy than men? But I'm looking at the movement that he has. I should talk to some statistician here. But I got the impression that he had a really strong female base of Democrats and libertarians. These are the ones I know.
Yeah.
The ones that cut your hair, that have a Kennedy bumper sticker there in the, in the salon. They weren't for Biden and Harris. They weren't for Trump. Yeah. They like Kennedy, but they're the healthy. They're the women that are advocating for. They don't trust the pharmaceuticals and the FDA and all that stuff, right?
I think you nailed it. What would you do for your children? You want the best for them. What would Annabelle do for your children? What would you do? And the moms, though, they have that connection to their children.
No, I think it is. What I'm getting around is we did a lot of our warfare. Remember something, even in the battle that politically happened in Washington, we were on the ropes with the abortion issue, because it was, and I remember the left was coming at us, Mercedes. We were looking at ballots in like 10 states where they were going to go. And it wasn't a priority to the left. It wasn't a priority to the people.
Right.
It was like, yeah, we're not into this we're pro-choice, but it's like number 4. But what was rising up was the moms were really fighting for their children. And so the trans issue actually became more like, wait, messing with my kid.
Right.
And then they realized they're in dangerous ground, because they don't have the number 1 issue, but the same audience they're after, the mama bears, are turning on them. All right, so Doc, you and Annabelle were the first ones, truth be told, that got me on the train with the level 10 matrix, with the whole theory of stem cells, with the idea that that there's, your body's designed by God actually to live long. And because of sin, there's this built-in something, boom, happens. It starts to deteriorate. And you got me thinking, well, like in the umbilical cord, there's the blood, and the blood has life. And then we started talking about stem cells. And then I started studying the science that was going on. This is like pre-COVID and everything. I'm studying Hong Kong, was like doing the advanced studies on this stuff. So I'm doing some noodling. Correct. And I see there really is in Asia, and then I run into Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. And Tony Robbins is getting stem cell stuff done by a doctor here. And I run into him at a clinic. And he's got an injection because he's got, he's an athlete, like, right. And he flies in his jet and he's real nice or anything, but he's just getting stem cells. Then he's leaving. I'm going, that's it. So I come back to you, and now I'm serious. Now, Annabelle, of course, who's the woman in my life, who's into all these unusual things, because her dad was a doctor. Right. And he was like a classic obstetrician, gynecologist. It was like you take a pill or you go to surgery. And she was like, no. She was like the opposite. She's like, everything else, Dad. There's something else other than that. So in between the two, I run into you guys. And now your testimony, I want you to share with people what your journey was that brought you into this revolutionary healing thing. Because you brought me in now. And now, yes. So you're the guy that got me on the Maha train, frankly, the first guy. Talk to us about your story.
It's not different than many others. Matter of fact, even I heard yourselves recently, I was in a very severe car accident. I got hit at 70 miles an hour. I was out in California visiting my sister. Traffic stopped. I stopped. Person behind me didn't. And bang, hit us so hard that it lifted the end of the car up. And what it did was it herniated 3 discs in my neck and 3 in my back. Very, very severe injury. I did a year's worth of chiropractic work at my clinic with my doctors, electrical medicine, acupuncture, exercise. The surgeons told me it was the only thing out was surgery. And I know that a good surgeon, it helps, but you're probably going to have issues. And I didn't want that. That's when God ordered my steps. I was speaking at a conference about electrical medicine, and I met a guy that was doing stem cell therapy. I told him my story, and he said, I got a guy. Your problem is degeneration. Your solution is regeneration. And Lance, I flew there and I received what we call level 10 matrix. And my life was transformed because I was looking at a career-ending injury. As a chiropractor, you got to have your arms, your hands. I had numbness and tingling and pain. When I received this, within 2 months, the numbness was gone in my hands. Within 3 months, my body had actually regenerated my disc to the point that I moved and all the pain went away and my life was transformed. And that's why I got to come here to tell you and everywhere I go and everyone I know, because there's hope for healing. And that's my story. It changed my life. And as a doctor, many of us doctors, we forget doctor means what? Teacher. So I'm bound by my knowledge to teach it to my patients.
And you do love it. It's one thing about you, because I'm a teacher, and I love natural teachers, mentors, people like that. And you love to share. I've seen you give the same energy to one person as you give to a large group. That's a real teacher. Amen. They just love the process of enlightening people. But you've been growing on this journey too, because as I was catching up with you today, you're saying, remember I was saying how these cells, so like the idea of the stem cell technology, this whole idea is that there's various ways. I'm getting confused by the marketplace out there. People talking, everybody's talking about it. It's like when I did 7 Mountains, I start talking about it, then everybody's talking 7 Mountains. It's like, well, who actually has the domain name on this subject? But you actually were helping me understand there is a life that is in the blood. We're talking about these stem cells that have an origin. My daughter's pregnant. I'm watching the glow of this mom. I know that when she gives birth to that baby, that umbilical cord is going to, is the connection there, and that there's blood that's in that cord that has the healthiest, probably some of the healthiest, most productive, potent, powerful stem cells in the universe, because they're literally coming right out of the presence of God in a sense.
Exactly.
And so, but you're saying they're communicated. The cells are actually communicating, and now we're getting into an area that sounds almost, if it wasn't theological, it's mystical. But I know it's a science, so we're in some strange area here. Talk to me about this.
Well, let's just make it simple, because that's the thing is, like I said, degeneration. Let's hit that first, and then we can go to regeneration because your audience needs to know the problem and the solution and then the source. And degeneration is not a diagnosis. Diagnosis is a human-made definition. Our body doesn't know what that is. What our body knows is decrease and decline. And degeneration as a definition is to deteriorate both physically or mentally, go into disrepair, fall apart, break down, or be less than your former
That's pretty much the fallen state of man.
Well, now you just hit it, and that's what God gave me, that epiphany. The word is actually a little more precise, because if we're miraculously and wonderfully made, and we are, if our body is made in God's image, and it was made to be what? Perfect. And it was sin that came in that was the original degeneration. So really, degeneration means the degenetic rate, the rate at which you fall out of the image of God. And so regeneration would be the rate that you return to how you were created to be. And what we've found is your body has the programs to do that. It knows how to do it. And God did that in our body with this thing called stem cells. And like your daughter, she's got a child being slowly formed and knit. Your grandchild. Congratulations.
Yes, any day now.
In her womb, matrixed together, level 10 matrix together, right? Because knit in Hebrew means matrix. And then what happens?
To be knit together in your mother's womb is the word matrix. In the Hebrew?
Yeah, so knit, my understanding, so I know some check on this, you can check, is that it means matrix.
Matrix, so you look up the word matrix, it means womb.
It means to knit together. Knit or matrix together in Hebrew means to matrix together. That's
people
why
are asking now already, they're saying, what are you guys talking about? Go to level10matrix.com and you'll find out more about this. It's powerful. You're going to hear some testimonies in a minute about transformation in people's physical lives. That is just, I mean, you're going to hear the evidence. Level10matrix.com, 800-361-2270, or...
Well, and I was just going to add in there that, I mean, Doc just said it a second ago that, let's make it simple, that there's a great informational guide, because every time we talk about Level 10 Matrix on any podcast, people are like, tell me more. What about this? What about that? Well, if you go to the website, put your email in, put your name in, there's a great download there called Stem Cells Made Simple. And it's going to answer 99% of the questions you've got. And you know what we'll do too is we'll have somebody reach out that'll even answer all the questions you might have. So visit us there. And I want to touch on two things. The production team's telling me that matrix actually means womb in Hebrew.
Okay, there we go.
It does. So it means womb in Hebrew.
Yeah, where you're being knit together. And the reason we have level 10, right? We have our level 10 kit. We have level 10 everything.
Why do we call it level 10?
Why do we call it level 10, Lance? You want to do the story? You want me to do the story?
Because I was in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, doing a message the Lord told me to do called, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. And I have my little XY axis, and I show up here in the upper right-hand corner how there's some axes that come together, and there's a level 10 point. You can live below it, or you can live the 100-fold life. And I said, that's level 10. And I looked at the clock, and it was 10 minutes after 10. And I said, and look at that. It's 10 minutes after 10, and I just read John 10:10, and someone yells out, it's October 10th. And then someone else yells out, 2010. So on October 10th, at 2010, I can tell you where I was. Francis M. Fuso's church in Santa Rosa Beach, California, preaching John 10:10 at exactly 10 minutes after 10. And so that was when I said, I felt like the Lord said, level 10 is going to be for you.
Amen.
So I trademarked it. And right away, everybody and his brother jumped on it. I mean, I've got level 10 living, level 10 leader, level 10 lover. Yeah. I thought it was for older couples. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do with that one yet. But I got a lot of followers.
But it's another episode. Life at the next level. You know what I mean? Everything about level 10. And we have our whole, like when we do our dream trips, we do level 10 material, right?
Right.
But it's about the regenerated life.
But I'm getting a revelation here, folks.
I love it.
I mean, it's gradual. It's like I went to Israel like a month ago, like last week. And I've been there 10 times, but sometimes you ever hear the saying, the penny drops? Mm-hmm. You have to go, a revelation, you got to go over, you're watching this again. And sometimes people go, oh, Lance is talking the same stuff. You're not getting it. I know you're not getting it because I'm still getting it. And here's what I'm learning. The body was pre-programmed by God to live forever. Man fell and degeneration starts. And it really, you could show a graph how the building block of like the stem cell, that like micro component that starts the building, my little baby granddaughter is going to grow, because those cells are programmed to multiply all the way until she walks down the aisle with some other guy. I'm telling you something, that the degeneration can be reversed because the body wants to heal itself.
It was created, Lance, to heal itself. And that's the thing, is we've been, our mentality as a population has been changed to literally allowing someone to control our most valuable asset, and that's life. In the end, we're responsible for our own bodies. And our body is created to repair, restore, and rebuild. So to go back, let's stay with Joy, because she's, she has this child that's forming and being knit or matrix together, which we now know, thank you, means womb in Hebrew. Leviticus 17:11 says the life of the flesh is in the blood, and blood is for atonement. So what God showed us is that cord blood, many will take and you'll store. You can store that and keep it for your child. They did that years ago. Actually, they were after treating leukemia. That's why they started doing that. Technology has changed now. We can take that same cord and cord blood, send it to the lab for what we call factoring, remove the things that make it so it has to be blood typed. And what's left behind is simply the message and the components in exactly the ratios that God designed to remind or awaken your body how to repair, restore, and rebuild. But one thing more I want to say, because the cord is still not ready until that child is born. This is after birth. Why? Because physiologically, when God gives us the breath of life that, boom, explodes out from within us when we're born, the program of our cell goes from being slowly formed and knit into exponential increase. And it's not been indoctrinated by our world and the trauma of our body's own problems. It's ready to build. And so that message of life at that very moment is perfect. And we now can capture that with our in the labs that are class 5 clean rooms, make it so anybody can use it. And the thing is, this is why. Because your body was miraculously and wonderfully made to repair. And I think people have just accepted this term. Aging is a disease. I disagree. I said the G6 life, right? Not J6, but G6. What is that? Genesis 6, 120 years. People are barely living to be 80 when they're on medications, and they thought that was fine. I'm not fine with that. And neither are you. I want quality for my life. I'm thinking kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids. And that's what happens is and I think that's what Bobby Kennedy's after, is just giving people access to the things that are natural that can help their body to repair and do what God designed it to do.
So I'm going to say some things here. I want to make sure these talking points are really clear for my audience now, because I'm learning this stuff. Your body has the ability to regenerate. Like I remember listening to these guys talk about every 7 years, all the cells in your organs are changing. I thought, what a crazy idea. That my liver isn't the same liver I had 7 years ago. It's been so depending on how you're living, what you're eating, what you're doing, etc., you can affect your whole body is remaking itself constantly. But show that graphic you guys have, which blows my mind. There's a reason why it's remaking itself every 7 years, but it's not making itself better.
Right.
Starts off with a baby. See that picture there? A newborn baby has 1 in 10,000. What is that?
That's stem cells, actual stem cells in your body. Why? Because it's building. We're at the most robust when we're doing what? Building our temple.
All right. So those of you listening to the podcast, we got a picture here. 1 in 10,000 is a newborn. 1 in 100,000 cells.
By the time you're a teen.
by the time you're a teen. All right, I don't have that many 30-year-olds listening. I got some young couples. 1 in 250,000. You started off with 10,000. You're now 1 in 250,000 of your cells is a stem cell, healthy, going to work, changing that liver, that heart, that kidney. Now by the time you hit my audience is 50, it's 1 in 400,000. And if you're 65, which is my demographic also, where is it, Doc?
1 in a million.
1 in a million.
That's not that many.
And that's almost like Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance, 1 in a million. You're saying there's a chance. I've got a news. All right, Mercedes, what are you thinking?
Okay, I got to get in here too. We have an amazing testimony. You're talking about 65. Okay, we have Terry on our team who just got back from Israel. Going into the Gaza Strip, West Bank would never have been possible. When she was 65, she could barely walk around. You remember Terry, and she received the level 10 matrix. And I have her testimony. I really want to play it so we could see it, because this is exactly what we're talking about.
All right, go ahead. Play Terry Bird. I haven't actually heard this yet.
Oh, it's powerful.
Let's hear it.
I believe that God works miracles in lots of different ways, and he certainly used level 10 matrix to work a miracle in my life. Before I received level 10 matrix, I was in 26 years of heart problems, principal angina, a couple of stents in my heart, ongoing trips with the ambulance many times to the hospital. I was told that I have 5 years to live and 30% use of my heart. And here we are in 2025, past the 5-year deadline, and here I am thriving and feeling great and being able to pursue all that God has called me to do in Israel. I was actually able to go up into the Gaza envelope, work with some of the farmers, work with some of the social workers, and I was there in Israel for 3 months, fully healthy. It was so beautiful to be able to feel just the pleasure and the anointing of God upon my life, and to feel good and not to have health issues and not to have complications and everything, but to have that total freedom to be all that God has called me to be. It's been a beautiful journey, and I would encourage people to really be able to get this therapy, because it has changed my life. It's totally changed my life, unlike anything else.
Wow.
To me,
Love it.
Here's why I love this clip, okay? And it almost makes me cry, because one of the reasons we even started this, we were in Maha before Robert Kennedy was in Maha. A year and a half ago, we decided to do our health conference, because God so put it on my heart that it is this, 50, 65, 75. And I love what Dr. Darcy said. God is not done with you. Aging is not a disease that you should be agreeing with. Look at Terry, literally has been in Israel for months, ministering at 65, 66. And I think the greatest deception that the enemy launches in an older demographic is that sit down, be quiet, you're done, let younger people take over. And it grieves my soul. It almost makes me mad at the devil, because you should be running harder right now for the kingdom of God than at any other stage in your life. So do not agree with that, and look at Terry and watch her testimony and say, that could be me too. And if it's disease, if it's illness, if it's something that's holding you back, that is not from God, and you need to break it off of your life. And maybe level 10 matrix, maybe this is your missing piece and you need to go find out more. Okay, it's level10matrix.com, but I'm committed to bringing things like this to you guys monthly, because I don't know what your missing piece is, but this could be it. But do not agree with the devil. Run hard after God.
And let me add one more thought, because we're out of time. I'm going to let you wrap it up, Doc. We got athletes now. So now I've got a whole new group of people coming at me, and martial artists and people like that. Here's what they're telling me. They're going, Lance, you don't get it. The matrix isn't something you just focus on when you hit a crisis and nothing else works. It's the proactive way that you build your body's resilience and begin doing the preemptive work before it starts to fall apart. You've actually got it working for you. Now, here's my point. Full disclosure, I just had level 10 therapy a week ago, because I believe in what we're talking about. So I myself am a participant in everything I share with you. And a couple of days later, I'm in a car that gets rear-ended.
Yes.
Back of the car is total. I don't know if the car is probably even still drivable, right? Here's the deal. I'm waiting a day for the soreness, and it was pretty serious. I mean, I went flying forward into a dashboard and back, and I had a seatbelt on. I waited a second day, and then people are telling me, well, it's 3 days. You better go get, I know some damage can be done. Get some x-rays. You might not feel it till the third day. Nothing. And of course, I'm praising God, and I'm thanking God for the deliverance. But I'm also aware of the fact that I'm proactively doing everything I can so that my internal repair system is operating at such a ratio that the moment inflammation, something would start to strike, I've got some system already ready on call that's going right to where the crisis is.
Right.
And this is the other thing I want you to know. It's preemptive health smart, also level 10 matrix. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's great to say. And what I was hearing while you said that is you don't want to be the warrior that's too tired to go on to the next battle. That's what I was hearing while you were saying it. You want to be strong and healthy and prepared for what you do. And Mercedes, I think you nailed it, because who does not want us well? Who wants us sick? Who wants us declined? Who wants us suppressed? Who wants us not doing what we're called to do? It's in level 10. It's in John 10:10. It's the thief.
Right.
He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So when I saw that, I looked at that. I said, well, if he's a thief and because he's stealing, what's he stealing? The second word is kill. And this is Jesus talking, right? So this is important. And the order is exact. What's he killing? It's your health, your physical, your financial, your emotional, and your spiritual health. That's what he's killing. Now, as God was speaking this to me, then what was confusing at first, I didn't have the answer, was, well, then why does Jesus say destroy? Because if we profess with our mouth and believe in our heart that Jesus is Lord, we shall be saved. So he can't destroy us. He already lost. It's our legacy. It's what we're called to do. It's the level 10. It's the John 10:10, because Jesus said, I come to give life and life abundantly. And he says, and the light shines brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. He said, the light is the life of men. And now we simply know that we're created in God's image. Even Moses, when he was in the presence of God, what happened to his skin? He physically changed in just a passing joy. You just said it. She's glowing. The more healthy we are, the closer we are to the image of God. And that's how he wants us to live. And the devil tried to, and effectively, and Bobby Kennedy knows this, steal the first generation and steal the last generation. Because we're to live 120 years. So it's about level 10 living. It's about John 10:10. It's about the thief and catching him.
We didn't get a chance to talk about this. We'll have to do another interview sometime. Lance Wallnau Show has to sign off, but Mercedes, anything?
I just think if you're ready to live the level 10 lifestyle, you want to live a preventative life, you want to get ahead, you want to serve God with everything that he's calling you to, that I just really encourage you, go to level10matrix.com right now, check it out, download the book, and one of our team members is going to reach out to you, answer all the questions you have. But now is your time to step in, invest in yourself, and take the next step.
Hey, I can't believe we're out of time already, but look, go to the link, level10matrix.com, 1-800-361-2270. And if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, just put the word Matrix in the comment section. And listen, Doc, I want to talk to you some more about this realm of how this operates. I'm just intrigued with the fact that we have living testimonies that are so different from the types of manifestations of how this level 10 matrix is getting results in people's bodies. It's so various. It'd be one thing if it was all one type of thing but it shows up in so many different ways. And I want to talk to you about the seeming randomness of this, and yet the fact that there's an intelligent design to what God's doing. We're going to cover that in the next show. Remember that link, level10matrix.com. 800-361-2270. You can give us your comments and your questions in the comments and put Matrix down. Make sure you're on the journey of living life at the next level, level 10, especially if you're in my age group. You got to finish strong, not hobble across the finish line. See you tomorrow.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have,